Hey guys, I'm Northern Dice, and I'm going to be half blind, if not wholly blind, unboxing the Root Underworld Expansion, and I'll have a look at the Root upgrade kit that was sent with the Kickstarter. Now, this is a copy that I do not own. This is my friend's copy, but due to lockdown, he's unable to play it, so he has given me the honour, and I put honour into big words because he's a massive Root fan, having first looked at this, specifically so I can show you guys my thoughts and look like an absolute rookie when it comes to Root. Now, I've played Root, really enjoy Root. It is a war game, asymmetrical, by Later Games, and it is based on the idea that the woodlands are under attack and everyone is after control. This is the expansion for said game. I believe it's the second expansion, and it includes two new factions, the Royal Duchy, which are the moles, and the Crows, which I cannot remember the name of, the COVID conspirator, who are more around spying and such. But other than that, this is almost entirely blind. I've done background reading at most. So, delve deeper into the world of Root with the Underworld Expansion, which adds two new factions and new board. There's a really whole lot of weight in that blurb. You definitely need Root to understand the weight of that. So, play as the Underground Duchy. Sway your ministers to lead a righteous expedition to the woodland, bringing order to the unending war and chaos above. And the COVID conspirator, use cunning and trickery to hold the woodland hostage, instigating plots and seize control through terror. That's more my style. Play on the mountain map or the lake map. Oh, it's got new maps. Very cool. Even more screen-printed warriors for the two new factions, a new double-sided board with the lake and mountain maps, hundreds of new player configurations. Sorry, I can't see that one, can you? And there's the artwork for the back. Now you'll notice this is actually protruding, and that is based exactly how it was shipped. This isn't something I've packed in myself and then cellophane for your, surprising. Haha, there's not anything in there, no. So, I'm assuming these are the bits that come out. I will look at those in a moment. And then you put the lid back on and everything fits beautifully again. Very good. It's a very neat box. The previous expansion, I believe, was the same size as Root's. This will just stack on top. I do get a bit funny about expansion boxes not fitting into the original box, but with something as complicated and diverse as Root, I can completely see why. So these are resin clearing markers, which will help identify who owns what. I believe, again, complete rookie. So we have got they're not the marquees, are they? They're the Woodland Alliance. Oh, they're the Woodland Alliance. Over there, the Woodland Alliance. I cannot remember. It has been a very long time since I've been able to play Root and thoroughly enjoy it. But those are to help you divide the areas, because on the map it is bobbles, there's no doubt you understand. You probably know Root better than I do. And these will just be nice, easy visual prompts for who owns what. I think. Make your woodland beautiful and more visible with resin clip. Yeah. Requires base game. Of course it does. Of course it does. I'll pop that back in. What else do we get? We got the Vagabond pack. Upgrade your Root set with 7 custom Vagabond meeples. We've got Renegade Squirrel, Renegade Lizard Boy, Renegade Otter, Renegade Fox, Renegade Cat, Renegade Beaver, and Renegade Owl. I say Renegade because the Vagabond is the only character to not have a whole faction, it is just a single unit. Plus 3 new Vagabonds to use, so those are going to be cards that dictate what your abilities are. An example of here, the Adventurer. Improvise. Once per turn, you may damage any items treated as another item for a quest. And some little punchies. Let's have a look at these. They are double plastic. I imagine these little cartons would be able to integrate straight in. Later Games never skimp on quality. They always feel really, really good. There you are, little evil Badger Man and little evil Beaver Man. Creatures could be completely wrong. Really, really, really thick meeples. Good bit of weight to them. Really impressed by those. But that's not even the expansion we're looking at itself. And the Exiles and Partisans deck. A new twist by swapping the Exiles, swapping in. Make people hold your rule with soup kitchens. Destroy others' crafted cards with saboteurs. Copy faction abilities with cards like the Airy Emigration. Sorry, you can't see that, can you? Requires root-based game. Cool. I'm not going to get too deep into those. I am just going to pop those to the side because it is the actual Underworld expansion that we're interested in, and I will have a quick look at the upgrade as well. So, just knock my camera over. Can you tell I'm excited? So, learning to play. This rulebook is going to be a lot smaller because it is just going to be an addendum to the original rulebook. And what I loved about Root's rulebook was that it was sectionized, much like in other ladder games, like not Mansions of Madness, the other one, Crystal Caverns, Vast. It's sectioned into each faction. So if you were wanting to just play it once to get a flavour for it, and you wanted to just learn one set of rules, you'd be given a brief overview of everybody's and then an in-depth on everyone else, on yours. So the Underground Duce, the Birdsong, the Daylight, the Evening, are the different phases. Birdsong, Daylight, Evening, nice little bit of symbolism. It looks like I feel. And 2 new maps with different things on them. And suggested faction mixers, so it lets you know who works best with what. So that way then you won't have someone who needs to exploit lots of different factions but cannot because he is only against 2. Using this book, Root contains 2 rule books. So this is the 4th printing. So this is the new rule book with the Lizard Cult, the Riverfolk Company, and then the Underground Duce and the COVID Conspiracy. So this is almost like a hot book that you'd have going around between those players for ease of access, and this one is the full-blown rules. Very cool. Pop to one side. Pull out what is undeniably going to be an absolute gargantuan board, which is double-sided. You'll have to give me a moment. Okay. Doesn't even fit on the camera, which is always a good thing. But what's interesting is that it's got this huge lake in the middle, as you can see. But if you're not familiar on how some of the classes work, they all go to these different little areas, apart from the Vagabond, who actually travels between the forests. So if anything, this is a huge hindrance for him, because I don't believe that the Vagabond has the ability to swim, unless of course that's part of the new alternatives for him. And then if we flip it over, we have the Underground map. I think this is, it doesn't have a label on it, but if the other one's the lake, this must be the Underground. And it's actually got different types of, so it's got these big tunnels that cut through these mountains, which again may be a hindrance for the Vagabond because he may not be able to travel through these or past the river for that matter. But it's really interesting because the game itself has got lots and lots of asymmetry. You'd almost imagine that the map never needs to change, but they've gone and they've added these bits in because it actually fits the theme of some of the factions. So an example of the waterfaring factions, there was no massive lake, so if anything, it just adds that thematicness, but also different stylized play, because they may have different abilities based on that. And we've got a punch board, and from the fact it says the bow, I will assume these are for the moles. Although the purple throws me on that. It's a mix. So there's the corvids, there's the moles. The bow is going to be for the moles. These tokens are bits I have no idea about. But I know these different elements are about your actions, they indicate it on the map, showing what you have done, what you have chosen to do, and how it's impacting. I'm going to go out on a whim and say that these are tunnels for quick access because the moles can burrow across the land. And then we have a really nice and sturdy player card. If you can see the thickness on that, it's not the thickest in the world. No, it's going to keep blurry. It's not the thickest, but classic leather quality. And this is just your quick reference for your player. And then on the back is the component manifest, so explanation and little bits of setup. So you might get dealt these. Have a look at the back, have a look at how complicated it is. If you choose it, flip it over, and this is your easy reference. And it's the same for the Underground Duce. Duce? Oh, sorry, this is the player side. This is the... is it? I don't know. It's honestly so long, sorry. but it gives you all the easy terms, quick access, the role of what you can do in each phase. And then we've got a tower, a bridge, some moles, some crows, some crowns, and some D12s with not many numbers on. Is this a D12? Either way, you get 1 to 3 and a 0. Ooh, nasty. And then you get the moles cards. Now, I've just noticed the crown on him. Is that an upgrade for your characters? Will the mole be able to balance a crown on his head? I really doubt it, but it probably is a reference to where they own and where their power extends to. Now, if you excuse me for just a second, I'm going to figure out what these are for. But you'll notice there's only one board of punch. One punch board. And a lot of it is referencing purple and the beige for the moles. So these aren't going to be over the component edition heavy, but we'll have a look and just quickly reference what these are. Okay, it took me absolutely no time at all because it's really nice and easy to see. Bomb, when flip, remove all enemy pieces in its clearance, so you are effectively being a bit of a bomber. Really dirty warfare there. Snare while face up, enemy cannot be placed in. Just trap. Extortion, take a random card from each enemy. So that's blackmail. And raid. So these guys are effectively what you would class as orcs or goblins in a proper old school role-playing game. These are the nasty ones. These are the really nasty ones. And as for the Underground Duchy, they don't have any specific tokens that are going to be overly changing. But you have got the lake setup and the mountain setup, not underground, apologies, mountain. And these are closed paths, which I'm assuming is what those are for. And the bridge is not a bridge, it is a ferry, which allows you to travel the lake, which is very interesting because it actually changes how you're able to get across. So these aren't connected unless you're using the ferry. Very cool. Right, that's that. Let's have a very, very, very quick look, a swift look at the upgrade kit. And I know that this is a change of rules from the third printing. Corrections, minor balance adjustments, just from feedback from players. Really good of Lader to actually consider doing that, if anything, because I know that some games it's been a Board Game Geek sort of forum, FYI guys, this is actually this number. This is actually new stuff to integrate into to change things to rebalance. Okay, but in all honesty, it's something that's probably necessary because as you add new factions that are brand new, you're going to be thinking, well, actually, this no longer works because this faction's got this ability which counteracts this entirely. You almost start believing that there's no point in playing certain factions against others. So, I think they've sent 2 rulebooks. They have. One in that, one in that. But in some respects, I can see the actual benefit of that because if you are playing the big boy, is this now up to 6 players? Probably still to 4. If you are playing a game where people are all brand new and they want to be thorough and read the rules, it's going to save time on that. Especially if you don't learn by listening. So, I can actually go through the cults now. You've got the Lizard Cult, which is the one that appealed to me the most. The Mechanical Marquise, which are the Automata. The Mechanical Marquise, yeah, the Automata, the AI, if you will. Vagabond changes, Riverfolk Company changes. Second Vagabond changes. Is that because 2 players can play as Vagabond? Airy Dynasties, Marquise the Cat, and Woodland Alliance. Little changes, little amendments just to make the game a little bit more in tune with itself. You'll notice no cards for the new ones because they come as part of this. They're going to be adjusted specifically to time with us. I'm very excited to play this integrated into Root, but have to wait for get this back to my friend. And it's going to be hard to pass it back on because the component quality is beautiful. I'm a big fan of Root, and I'm quite excited to see this in action. I can't comment too much though, because the asymmetry of it all, it's just going to be how it all balances. And what's going to be even harder, and as much as I hate punching boards, is not punching these boards and passing them back to my friend to make sure he can punch them as it's his honour. But I've rambled on long enough. Thank you ever so much for sticking around. I will catch you again next time.